Hello, beautiful beings, and welcome to Inspired Awakening, episode 26. Happy July. Now, I wanted to take this time in this episode to talk about my journey as a channeler. So let me grab my notes, and we are going to talk about my journey as a channeler. And I'm going to have edited in different clips, different videos, different things. But right now, I'm sitting down and I'm talking about it. My journey as a channeler began with my healing journey. So I am giving just a brief overview of my journey as a channeler because I just recently published on Kindle Direct, Awakening the Channeler Within, where I dive deeper into this. So this is just kind of an overview of my channeling journey. But if you want more insight about channeling and how to become a channeler, in the description you will find a link to my new book that is published through Amazon. You can get a paperback copy or a Kindle copy, whichever suits you. If you're wanting to do the option that supports me most in my channeling journey, then the paperback copy would support me the most. But either way, that knowledge is out there. So I am gonna right now kind of go through mainly talking about my journey through as a channeler through YouTube. I'll clip in some video clips of how I started to learn things a little bit more, talking about things that really aren't in the book necessarily, but I definitely I will elaborate. I did elaborate in the book about some of these things that I will be talking about. That was a difficult sentence. For some reason, I recently just did a channeling yesterday, so I'm still kind of grounding back to earth a little bit. So I am gonna go through the reflection period, so talking about just my past experience, present moments, how I'm feeling right now, and then a declaration for the future, which if you read Inspired Evolution of the Elfian Realm, you would know that declarations are something that after an ascension celebration, the Elfian Realm kind of declares things. It's a way of manifesting. So I will be doing that with you guys as well. So first and foremost, let's reflect on exactly how my channeling began and all the different things I did as a channeler. So first, I didn't know what channeling was until I was 16. On the summer solstice of 2020, so my 5-year awakening anniversary has passed, I started seeking my healing journey. But I was aware of the world beyond the veil from before that point, from 7th grade, end of 6th grade, beginning of 7th grade. My mom started her awakening journey, and thus I was kind of aware of things, but my brother, I kind of turned my nose up at it, and I was no, I was making fun of it, but I was always very interested. And anytime there were card readings or things and the coffee cup readings with the Greek coffee or Arabic coffee is something that I was always aware of. It's just in my culture, I was aware of it. So there were certain things, and the evil eye, and symptoms of an evil eye, these were certain things about energy I was aware of my entire life. This isn't something that I just wasn't aware of. I was always interested in astrology. I was always interested in understanding dreams from when I was little. I used to sit in the kitchen with my mom and tell her about my dreams and ask her what they mean. I was always aware of these things. It's something that it's not I wasn't aware of it. And when I was in 7th grade, I became more aware of crystals. I started having crystals. I can actually see in my mind's eye now where in my house some of the oldest crystals that I've had for the longest are. I mean, right now in my view, I can see my obsidian owl. I've had this for the longest time. Actually, when I got my license, before I started my awakening journey, my mom gave me this and said, put it in your car. It's an obsidian, it's for protection. And I had it in my old car on my rear view mirror tied with a icon and a Greek flag, and I had it all tied. And it was just certain things that I was aware of. I know when I used to go to school, before I started my awakening journey, my mom would like do energy protections with me. So certain things that I was aware of these things. So it's not like I was, when I went in, and I would say my mom became a Reiki master, and like so many different types of Reiki. Go to her page on the website and everything that she is certified in is listed. It is crazy how many things that she is certified to do. Like, she really dove in deep to become a healer, and that was something, like, now that I think about it, very inspiring to see. But at the time I was like, what is this? What are you doing? Why are you doing it? What is this thing? A lot of it I didn't know about until like I started asking questions. I'm like, oh, why is this room changing? Now this room has crystals everywhere. Now, what's this? Oh, chakras. Like, I was kind of aware of chakras from a younger age too. But like, I'm like, what is this? Why is this here? Why is there this like table here? Like, I started to question a lot, which was kind of the beginning of what started my journey. So then I kind of asked my mom for healing. I was at the point where I felt like, and I wrote a poem about it that's in the beginning of the book, that link in the description for the book, but I wrote a poem about it, kind of like that day, what that felt like for me. And I was really at the point where I'm like, I have nothing left to lose. When you experience a moment, for me it was a betrayal of the people that, it's without like explaining too much about it, because I know I kind of talk about it in the book. This isn't something that I fully talk about in detail. I feel like I always talk about it a little bit, and I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I will talk about it. For me, this is a little backstory for me. In my life, I have a very strange relationship with my estranged father, and my cousins, my older cousins on his side of the family, we grew up together. They were very close to me. They were like my siblings, my best friends. And when I was suffering, when having visitation with my father, the only reason I would go was for them. And he would threaten me with them a lot. And they meant a lot to me. And so when I experienced a betrayal from one of them, whether it was intentional or not, it doesn't matter, because she saw how I felt in the moment. And, you know, even though someone's afraid, it's when you really love someone. Like, if roles were reversed, I would have done something. I know that I would have, because of how much I loved her, and how much I valued the relationship, because I really did. I mean, I put myself back in a situation where I would have been around a man who caused me a lot of abuse and pain, because I wanted to be around her and her siblings, her two siblings, my other older cousins, just for them, only for them, for no one else. Because everyone else in the family made it very clear how they felt about me and my decision, that no, I was an 11-year-old and I was the one at fault for standing up for myself. They made it very clear how they felt about me, and that they wanted to trick me or whatever and make me change my mind, make me go back to my father, because I stood up for myself. And I've talked about this before. I've talked about this a million times before, and I'll link to this video. I did a little video talking about it for the 10-year anniversary of that happened this year. But I was very aware it was only those three that mattered to me. So when I experienced a betrayal from one of them that was like so deep, it cut me so deep, I felt like I had nothing left to lose. It didn't matter like what friends I made or anything. Nothing could replace that, and nothing ever will. And I never have looked to replace them, because nothing will ever replace that, and I don't want it to. I don't want to replace that. I don't want that. I want something different. I want something new. I want something healthier. I want something better. I'm not looking for a replacement. So I knew that my life was never going to be the same again, and I felt at a loss. So when I came home from spending time with my friends, I realized I wasn't in the moment with my friends. I wasn't. I talk about it in the poem in that book. I wasn't. Because I was still feeling like I wasn't allowing myself to enjoy my time. That family, they would make me feel guilty for spending time with anyone or anything. Like, everything was a guilt trip. Everything. My aunt and cousin from my mom's side came to visit us one summer. The only summer that they ever were able to, coming all the way from Greece to visit us in the States. Now I'm in Greece, so coming all the way from here to go there. But they did that, and the one time that happened, they were, you know, those older cousins, and I never, at that time, I was always very compassionate and understanding. I never took it as a betrayal. I'm like, oh, they don't know. It's not them. It's my father, it's their father. It's like, they don't know what they're telling me, but they were making me feel, they were speaking for the adults. And I knew that. I knew that at 11, I understood that they were speaking for the adults, that I know that that's not them. Or at least I hoped and I believed. Always guilting me for loving, loving someone else, like having a bigger family, having more people I care about. So this was something that like I was aware of, and I just couldn't allow myself to be in the present moment. And I think something inside of me when it rained on that summer solstice, something about the rain, maybe the elementals, honestly, maybe my clairaudiency opened up. It spoke to me. It was like, something needs to change. Because I love my friends, and I need to be in the moment with my friends without thinking about this. And those friends that I was with, they are still in my life, and I love them so much. They are still in my life. They have been with me through a lot. And they are my chosen family. But I was like, I'm not even allowing myself to have fun. This is weighing on me so heavily. And the betrayal was very fresh at this point. And I didn't talk about it. I just kind of was like, oh, this happened, and okay. I was ashamed almost. I was ashamed on their behalf that it happened. So I asked for help. I came home and I asked my mom, okay, let's try the Reiki. Let's try it. Because she would offer. And I was in the Reiki state 2 hours. I didn't even know. Like, I didn't know how long it was. I know that I was receiving messages. I was going through all sorts of healing. I was like, this is like, what is going on? But I was more open to it because I was slowly, me becoming open to it was very, very gradual. Because I was around it. I started becoming a little bit aware of it. And this was something that I was becoming more and more open to. And I was becoming aware of channelers through my mom. She was, workshops and things, and she would play videos, and I would slowly be like, before I even started Reiki, I was like, what is this? Who's Pam Gregory? Who's Baraka? Who is this? Who's Lee Harris? I'm like, who is this? I'm trying to listen. I'm like, what is this? Who's Paul Selleck? What is it? She would always go to like different workshops and events. I'm like, what are you going to? Oh, he's a channeler. This is something that was always around me. It's kind of like the red string theory for people, but this is for something that was in my life. The signs were there. They were there. My entire life. They were there. I didn't know. And I didn't start channeling until I was 18. 17 a little bit. So I started, my clairaudiency opened up first. That's why I was doing card readings, and I started opening first. And that's when the first book, The Untold True Story of the Alphean Realm, started coming about, because I started creating these little like flashcards to understand the Alphean Realm. And I was told I had a connection to them, but they didn't. It was a very formal asking in a Reiki setting where I was presented by my guardian angels in the Alphean Realm. You did sign up in this lifetime to be the Alphean Realm communicator. You are a communicator. You signed up to be a channeler. But it's up to you to choose. Like, okay. And so what I did instead of automatically saying yes is I wanted to learn more. And I started astral projecting through Reiki. Anytime that I wanted to astral project, I would go to my mom and be like, I want to go into a Reiki protected space with all the archangels. I would never, other than like sleep, but obviously I slept with the room that Reiki was done in was on my wall of my headboard. So that wall where my head was, it was right there. So I was always pretty protected. I would never go into like a chosen astral state without being in a Reiki healing session. I just had that luxury, I had that availability, so obviously I took advantage of that. And it also, my mom was like, oh, this helps, it's a win-win, it helps her with her practice, helps me. So I I started to seek more understanding. I started like writing little cards here and there and here and there and started to learn more. And that's when, after starting to get a base understanding of the Alphean realm, when they all approached me in an astral state, all the elders, they said, will you be our communicator? I said, what does this mean? They said, all higher beings have a communicator. It's like, oh, like the angels, Kyle Gray's deck, like oh, Diana Cooper has these decks with like the angels and the unicorns. Like I don't know if the unicorns one was out at that time, but I'm giving that example now. I don't know when it came out. I don't have it. Maybe I should get it. But like, oh, these, like, okay, this makes sense. Like, oh, the mermaids, everyone has a communicator. The fairies have a communicator. I met a fairy communicator actually in 2022. Very, very lovely lady. So it's something like, okay, so this is something that's happening. They're like, yes, this is where the collective is right now. Higher beings are coming forth because now we can help. And I said, okay. I said, yes, I want to. And even though that was something that I signed up for in this lifetime, until I said yes to it, it wasn't set in stone. So when I said yes to it, that's when my life changed. And that's when I started working with them more. And I'll have like all the courses linked in the description, of course, but the home cleansing course specifically that's on our website, a lot of the teachings in that was the first time I kind of started to channel teachings from the Alphean realm, and I started working with them. And they helped with the crystal grids, and they helped me understand a lot of things, specifically the Alphean warriors. And I started working with them a lot before I even did the channel text. I started listening and understanding them a lot. And the channeled book, it took a long time actually to understand, because I spent a lot of time learning, and they were teaching me a lot of things. They'll have more to say. Maybe I'll do a like second edition of it, and they'll like comment on a lot of the things that were first channeled. I think I want to do that at some point, maybe like 10 years later, second edition. But it's something where I just kept learning more. And then I did almost like automatic writing channeling, where I was just like, I was with my clairaudiency and like typing. I had the downloads coming through, and I'm just type, and then fixing the grammar and type, and getting the channeled art through my mom, who she, Christina, the angel spirit healer, but she illustrated under G. Tina. For anything with the Alphean realm. Like, we started getting the channeled art, we started getting all of those things, and then that book was published by the 22nd of February. So 2/2/2/2/2/2 was 2022. Right, it was 2022. And then we started attending, we had went when I was little to holistic fairs, like little as like 12. Okay, not little, like 10 years ago, like 9 years ago. But I hadn't fully gone to holistic fairs since, so we went to one, and my mom was very adamant, like, do your channeling. Because I had started doing channeled videos in December of 2021, but I didn't publish them until February. And the first few channelings I did, it was like 4 of them I did, I was channeling with my eyes open, like, and it was very difficult. Honestly, I feel like, and I remember mainly because I went back and I watched all my old videos, and I was trying to, because I wanted to, all the new lovely playlists of like who I'm channeling in each video, I wanted to organize things a little bit better. So I had to go through and rewatch pretty much all of my old channelings, which was, like a little bit uncomfortable, honestly, because not only was that like at the beginning I was channeling with my eyes open, and now I would never do that. It takes away from the experience, and also now that I channel with my eyes closed, I receive visuals, and it opens my third eye more, and I'm able to actually, like, there's more ease of messages coming through, and I can bring more clarity. I only ever channeled with my eyes open, I think 4 or 5 times at the very beginning, because I didn't know what worked. And it was, but also at that time I was going through a lot. I was going through my healing journey. My hair was very short because I was healing I was chemically straightening my hair before. So my hair was healing. Now it's healed for the most part, but my hair was healing, my face was healing, like my body was healing, because when I was trying to hide who I was, I damaged, like my physical body was recovering. So it was a very uncomfortable thing to look at, but important. And on the video that I noticed was the one that I said I'm channeling with my eyes closed. It was because a bird came into our chimney and fell into our fireplace. So just the structure, this is like a Midwestern Illinois house, old house. Not old house that I used to live in. It's not that old. It's not been that long since I moved out, since we relocated. But the way that it was set up is like the chimney is at the top, and on the second floor, the basement, is the fireplace. And there are little slits, and there were lots of trees. We had a big, I think it was a sycamore tree. It was very big, and there were lots of nests, and it was a little sparrow. And because of where the fireplace is, and always had the blinds in the basement open to let the sun in, there was a source of light. Afterwards, we covered it so that birds wouldn't get confused if they fell in and got lost, but one did. It happened a few times. Each time it happened, the bird had a message, and I would go down and I would do a channeling while the bird was down there to see the message. And you know, we tried our best and everything we could. We always helped them get out one way or another. Just sometimes it would happen and I was home alone and I'm like, I don't know how to get a bird out. I was still young at the time, and this time the bird came and it had a message, so I sat down to do a channeling, and it told, I couldn't, for some reason, I wasn't able to get into a channeled state with my eyes open, and I have not been able to since, and nor do I want to, because it just doesn't feel right to me. So I ended up channeling with my eyes closed, and that was the start of that. It was very interesting. So come like May of 22, I went to in April we went to a holistic fair where I was just a guest, and I traded with, and I actually did multiple interviews with him, Graham. I will link those interviews, and I hope by the time that this video comes out, because I'm recording it a little bit in advance, maybe I've reached out to him and we've maybe done another one, because we've done a few interviews together, and he's also a channeler. So we did a trade channeling, because my mom encouraged it. And I also, and this was with Rooted Holistic Healing and Wellness, when I attended as a guest before I became a vendor. And I was a vendor there for like 3 years. Then I also traded with a lovely woman too. And after that point, I mean, I channeled trading here left and right, getting to know mediums and healers and crystal vendors and everyone. But I traded with 2 people. And I did a channeled reading for them. And this is, my mom is like, you're doing it. like sit down, do it. I think without her, I wouldn't have like felt confident in it. And it was always, I remember like even now, like every time I do a channeling for someone and like, they're like, oh my gosh. It's like, oh, like, oh wow. Like they're like, oh, this is like real, or they're crying, I open my eyes and they're crying, and I don't remember everything. I remember what I'm supposed to remember, but some things are personal. And just the feeling of opening my eyes and they're like crying and they're like, that helped me a lot. It just, the confirmation of that, like anytime I've ever felt doubt in my abilities and in my gift, like that is the best payment in the world, because it means that everything I'm channeling for the collective, every free thing that I do, it's real. And it's always so confirming. And after that, like, then I became a vendor and I did the fairs, and it took off from there. I started doing videos more, did more fairs, and then I did the second channeled book in 23. I went and I did volunteering, and I've channeled so many places in Greece. Now it's normal. I've been channeling here for a while, but like I did in the Peloponnese a lot. I got to work with turtles and connect with their group soul. Like, it was so many beautiful things started manifesting and happening when I became a channeler. And like the way that like my practice, like I used to grip my energy, and now I cultivate my energy. I used to not do as many deep protections, now I do. Now I understand things. Every time I channel, I learn something new. So then I stopped the fairs, And I wanted to focus more on doing channeled courses, channeled videos more. The fairs were a really beautiful way, like doing like the free workshops, and then I did a few galleries. I got to work with like lovely mediums. I know a lot of you are from Wisconsin, so like Angela and Debbie. I got to work with Sky. I got to work with like lots of like from the rooted holistic healing and wellness environment, and then from the different holistic fairs. I got to go to Iowa, Wisconsin. I don't know where else I did fairs, Illinois. Lots of like beautiful people. I did the interviews with Barnaby. So many people that I did different interviews with, I did different trades with, Michelle with the fairies, just so many, like, I mean, that experience, it set the tone for my life. And I didn't know that the last fair that I did was the last fair. And I knew that maybe it was, but I didn't know for sure. And I will forever be grateful for that experience. But I knew that I needed to do something different. I needed to focus more on videos, focus more on creating more things. So I started working with crystals more and connecting more to my clairaudience. See, one thing the Alphian realm wants me to always remember and never forget is that I am a channeler, but first and foremost, the reason I'm a channeler is because I'm clairaudient. And my clairaudiency is why I became a channeler. And so for me, my journey with channeling is my journey with being clairaudient. And I know that I have a type of voyancy. I have a sight, just not a big one. But when I think about that, I remember that it all started when I was a little kid, like an actual little kid. And I would get up at the witching hour at like the same time. I would wake up and I would see the figure of a long lady and a fancy man. And I would follow them out of my room. And I would also see a short, funny looking man knocking on my brother's door. And I would go to the same spot in our apartment and I would talk to them. And I know now they were my guides, angels, and the Alphian realm. But I had a psychic suppression at 3 years old. But even though I suppressed the ability, I never forgot the experience. I never did. I would always talk about it. And I remember vividly when I talked about my past lives to my mom, and she was scared. She was like, "You're 3 years old and you're talking like you're 50. Like, I've always had that. Even when it was suppressed. I also had a lot of strep throat as a kid. I had a lot of issues with my throat and with my ears. As a communicator soul and a clairaudient, my issues being around my ears and my throat. The things that the negative polarity was able to block me. My power is my voice. My power is my hearing as a soul. So the things that happen, the negative things that happen from the negative polarity were to silence my voice and my ears. And I have that sight too, but not as much with issues in that way. It was always with the throat and with the ears. And so I know now that this journey has been my entire life. Because when I was in my dark periods, what was being attacked were my ears. My mind, too. To be a channeler, you have to have a strong mind. And I spent a lot of time, I was doing Reiki every single day, 9 months, then every other day. Like, I was dedicating my life, everything, to healing and getting better, and I did. Miraculously, I did, because you have to have a very strong mind. And I didn't have a strong mind before that point. That's what was being attacked. The things that, my mental body and my communication, the things that give me the ability to do my gift. That's why it's always been. Like, my gift and what I'm supposed to do in this life, it's always been clear. Because that's what has been attacked throughout my life. So, the journey was my entire life. the videos, the channeled videos, are something that I love to do. And the routine, the ritual of it, I love it. Sometimes it's tiring, but I love it. I do it when it resonates. And I would say my favorite is the color frequency readings, because they've become more and more beautiful all the time. And I also love the solstice and the equinox videos, channeling those. I'd say one of my favorites was the cleansers of the earth that I did in Coroni, with the cats running around below. It's fun because I was learning. And that video was, I put a lot of work into that video. I'll link it also somewhere to this video. Or maybe I'll just show a clip of it and add a card. That is linking it to the video. I don't know. I don't edit the videos. That's the thing. A lot of them I don't edit. Like, I don't like when I say these things, but I say it so I remember, okay, let's link it. Like, I don't like, I'm like, I channeled it, it's done, it's ready to go. Like, a lot of times I don't edit. If I don't have to, I don't. Not that I don't like it, I like it, but it's one of those things that I don't want to like filter out. In the beginning, when I was like I was more insecure, and the ego would try and come in, I would try and edit things, and then I got to the point where I'm like, I'm just channeling a message. When I was doing clairaudient messages, because I started before doing channeled videos, I started doing clairaudient videos, and those I would edit. I would be like, I was like so nervous because the ego would come in and try and ruin it. But when it came to channeling, I'm like, no, this is what's coming through me. And then it became easier to have clairaudient moments in videos. And now I have channeled and clairaudient in videos. In every video there's a channeled and there's a clairaudient something in it. And I love that because I'm able to be all of who I am in regards to my gifts and delivering messages to the collective. But to the point, with the, whatever I was saying, the Cleansers of the Earth video, that one was one of my favorites because it was so fun and it was so insightful, and it was a combination of all of my different gifts and understandings, working with the animal kingdom, with the crystals, with the earth, with understanding things, with clairaudiency, with channeling, with everything. Like, it was a combination of everything. And that was it was like a year and a half ago. It was beautiful. And another one that I really loved, all the Delphi. Any channeling I did in Delphi, I did 2, maybe more. The Delphi channeling itself, that was like clairaudient and channeling, and I loved it. That was so powerful because the portal, my name, okay, so actually this has been my entire life because, I'll do the detour of the name thing and then go back. So my name is Kastalia, or Kastalia, however, it's technically Kastalia. With the Greek, it's a little bit of an accent. I don't know. I don't have a Greek accent. I've accepted my American accent being in Greece, and every time I like say something in Greek, I'm like, I have the most Midwestern accent ever, but it's okay. Because it's how my English makes my channeling more accessible. So my mom spent 6 months trying to find my name, and I'm named after the fountain and spring of inspiration, creativity, the nymph from mythology from the Greek mythology, who has the spring, the Kastalia springs that feeds into the Kastalia fountain, and fountain of inspiration and poetry, creativity. I've always known what my name meant, what I was named after. Like, I know the story of the nymph and also the story of the springs because I'd been there when I was 13. And when I was there, when I was 13, I was on the hunt for something. I went running. I was looking for the fountain? I don't know what I was looking for. I don't know necessarily, but I felt like I'd been there before and I was looking for something. Every time I go there, it's a powerful experience. I've been there 3-4 times. My namesake has always meant a lot to me. And knowing that that's also the portal for the Elfian realm, and I learned where all the different portals are, like the Phoenix portal's in India, the Dragon portal is in Japan or China or somewhere in Asia. The Unicorn portal is, I think, in Scotland. Like the portals for these for the higher beings, where they are, and I want to go to all of them. I want to go to all of them. It would be really fun when I can get actual where they are. But to learn that, and to learn that like the name found my mom. Like you kind of choose your name in a way, like you give that guidance. She never felt like any name was right for me until she found my name. And my name is very unique. It's not even, in Greece, it's not even common. Like, they know it's Greek, like, because there are things, like, you know, street names or whatever with the name, and they know it's Greek, but it's not common. It's not common even in Greece. So she wanted a unique name, but that name just so happens to be, it's like so, like, there are no coincidences. There are no coincidences. It's been my entire life. Truthfully, like even from birth, the name that I have, I'm named after the portal to the Alphean realm, to the beings of inspiration. I'm named after the portal of inspiration, like, and I channel inspiration. It like, I've always known, it's always been there. Nothing is a coincidence. Nothing, it's all telling you something. It's beautiful. Like my mom, her name is Christina, and a lot of what she does in her healing is channeling forth the Christed light. Like, you know, it all makes sense. It all makes sense. It's like this knowing that happens, this claircognizance that reaches mothers when they name their kids. Like it's that connection. That's why, like, you know, ask what is the name? And I think she did. She asked. And she found it. And always the story of my name and how she named me has been the most fascinating story. And now it's just even more fascinating. It truly is. And I used to be, I don't think I was ever ashamed of my name, actually. You know, there were times where I wanted to have a normal name and I would pick a nickname that was normal, like call me Cass, it's easy. But no, I love my name. Because my name holds, now it means even more to me. It means even more because it's always been a reminder, and that's what I was told. It was a reminder. It was a reminder that even if I got lost, like I would go searching for my namesake, and I would go to the portal, and somehow, some way, even if it didn't happen in the way that it happened, it would happen. It was a fail-safe to make sure that no matter what, I would get to this point. I got to this point maybe a little bit sooner, and I'm happy because actually it's all in divine timing. So, kind of back again to the videos, channeling and being at the portal, that I loved too. I mean, so many beautiful things. Like my life since becoming a channeler, like the way that I view life, the way that everything is just so beautiful. Like, I want to be myself and I want to be alive, you know, and that's something that, truthfully, I didn't want to be alive at some points when I was little, when I was younger. Before I awoke, and even when I was like 13, I didn't want. There were a lot of things going on where I wanted to give up. I'm like, why do these things keep happening? Why am I still alive? And now I know why. It's very clear. It's very, very clear. My present moment with like June this past year. So present moment, June, July, right now. So right now, my relationship with channeling and how my channeling journey is right now I was guided to channel more like things that are, and this happens sometimes where the Alphean realm is like, okay, we don't have like necessarily channeled guidance right now for like specific things going on in the collective, but like it's time for the collective to learn some things. So there's more general messages about things. So like, what is a crow? What is a rose? Like these things, like, so it's a lot with like how the animal kingdom helps, how the crystals help, how colors help, how flowers help, how all the things help, as opposed to like collective readings as much. And I'm sure you've noticed that. So this time as a channeler is like, okay, we're in a bit of like a standstill period because right now the collective has to make a choice. It's a pivotal point. And this pivotal point after this choice, then they can offer more insight. Sometimes things aren't clear. So right now is a reminder to honor free will. Because one thing the Alphean realm taught me, and the thing that's been the lesson my entire life, is the power of no and the power of yes. And it feels so repetitive, but it's true. And what caused the fall of Atlantis was the experimentation. Okay? the experimentation must end that is going on now. And free will must be honored. So, in order to reach the new golden age, and that's why it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. All of our decisions change the projection of when things are going to happen. Truthfully. Right now, as a channeler, I am channeling things to bring insight into things like crystals and colors and flowers and animals. And while it's not direct readings, if you want personal readings, yes, but the Alphean realm doesn't have messages like for collective readings, but they have lots to say on a personal level. So if you want to sign up for a personal reading, links in the description. Now as a channeler, in the present moment, I feel like the past 5 years of my life saved my life and reminded me why I am alive, and I feel my life is so much better. I'm like so happy. Like, actually, my life is like 10 times better. Like, my life 5 years ago, or like 6 years ago, let's say 6 years ago, my life 6 years ago was awful. Like, with all due respect to my past self, like, in all honesty, my life was awful. Like, I wasn't happy. I was miserable. Like, I think about it, I think how I was at the start of 2020, I was miserable. I was suffering. I was running like a chicken with my head cut off. I was doing things that didn't align with my soul. I was dating, guys, and I was like, oh, okay, like this guy doesn't treat me right. And I was like living in fear, and I had like, 2 month, 2 week, 1 day relationships that meant nothing. I lost friends. Like, I was like in so many like my life, like I did not like my life. Genuinely, I was like, but I was going with it. I'm like, this is what I'm supposed to do, right? And when I experienced that betrayal and that pain, and I sought healing, like, my life started getting even more better. Like, it was almost like when I was 11 and I left my dad and my life got better. And then, it got better to a certain point. And I was happy to a certain point, but then I started like getting all lost and being human. And in the high school and then the college and all of this, I started getting very stressed. And then after my awakening, then I kind of got lost in like working in retail for a little while to try and get money to make the move to Greece. But now I live in Greece. I live with the family that I always wanted to know. I'm happy. I'm so happy. I'm like, I get to channel. I get to write like fun articles. I get to like do so many beautiful things. I have amazing clients. I've created courses. Like, I'm happy. In this moment, like being a channeler made me happy. Like, I never would have made it here if I didn't become a channeler. Like, channeling is what got me here. And it's what got me to so many beautiful things. And I get to watch my new little baby cousins grow up and be in their lives. And I get to help a whole new country of people. Like, I get to expand. I have friends across the globe now. Like, my life has gotten so much better because I answered that call. I was told, hey, this is something you signed up for, but I didn't have to say yes. I did. And that is like, I think about, okay, like the time I said no to my dad was like a transformative point. The time I said yes to becoming a channeler, that is even more transformative. Yes, that wouldn't have happened if I didn't say no to my dad and I didn't leave that situation. But my yes to becoming a channeler improved my life so much. Like, I healed so much. I never thought 6 years ago I was choosing the performing arts because I didn't want to deal with my own issues. I've healed so much. I healed from a phobia that I never thought that I would get over. My brain healed, my heart healed, my body healed. I thought I was going to be chronically sick forever. Like, I got my tonsils removed and I was still having strep throat. I was still getting sick. Like, I thought I was never going to be healthy and happy, and I am. And for me, the journey with channeling is the journey of using my gifts to help people. I've always felt like I wanted to help people, and this is the way that I can. And it's always been a lesson of my beliefs and my belief system and what resonates with me. And I'm so happy. So I'd say in this present moment now, with like my Awakening the Channeler Within book out, I think that channeling will change for me. It will. When things change, like I don't know how when I'm pregnant, how that will work. I think they kind of told me, okay, whenever you're pregnant, don't channel because there's like another, you know, it, like how things work with channeling. Kind of a little more explained about that in the book, about like what channeling is and like why it is the way that it is, because like I only channel the Elfian realm and I will not channel any other beings because that's the relationship that I have as their communicator. But like where like the guardians of the veil come through, because I can do a little bit of mediumship, but I cannot channel a soul that's been human because they know the human body, and there's a little bit like you're not supposed to, because that's in a way wrong, like on a like cosmic law wrong. And so no like departed person should ever ask to step through you to communicate, because that's possession and that's not okay. And you should never try to ever channel someone who has been alive in the physical, like alive in the physical in the sense is like as a human being. Any being of life that has departed, you should never. So there is certain things with that. So I think like, okay, when with those things, like my channeling, it's gonna change with different things. I think that I wouldn't be allowed to, because I'd be growing a body, and that's not healthy. I kind of already knew that like whenever that happens for me, like I won't be able to, and so I will do clairaudiency. I know it will change as things change, but I know that it's something that's always going to be in my life. And even if there's like, you know, times where I'm pregnant for that 9 months, I just do card readings and I do clairaudiency with the Elfian realm. But I know that's something that's never going to stop. It's just going to change and it's going to evolve. And what I want and what I hope is that we get to a point where, not that me as a channeler isn't needed, but we get to the point where we're, as a collective, we have ascended to a certain point where we're all able to connect to our guidance system. And instead of like teaching and guiding, it's sharing. Instead, it becomes more, because when I channel now, it's teaching, it's guiding. But the relationship that the eternal loving friendship, eternal loving friendship, that I hope that we all have with each other and with higher beings, is that we get to the point where it's just sharing. And it's not about lecturing and teaching and guiding, but we've reached a point where we are just sharing knowledge and we are connecting and we are evolving together, and it's different. It's more of a friendship than it is like I am teaching you something and you are learning it. It's like we are a friendship and we are sharing things, and it's mutual. And we are connecting. That's why I love trading, and I highlighted the people I've traded with. Like I loved that. Like we are sharing our gifts and we're helping each other, but it's sharing. And that's kind of the declaration I hope for the future. That the declaration is the wish, it's the manifestation. It's just saying like, this is what I hope for. And hope is very powerful. Hope is manifesting with the beings of hope, the Fae. That's what I hope for, that we reach the point where we are more sharing. And we can do like, we're doing live videos with other channelers, other clairaudience, other healers, and we're sharing our gifts, and it's all a sharing. And everyone is sharing their story. That's why I created Inspired Awakening, and I haven't had many guests on, and I want to have more. So if you have a story to share, let me know, and we will schedule doing an interview together, and you can talk and share about your story, because I channel the beings of inspiration. My declaration, my hope is inspiration, that things evolve to the point where we are just inspiring each other all the time, and we are allowing ourselves to be beings of life. That's my hope, that's my wish, is that we are able to live life. We are able to help the planet, that we see the truth and we embrace that knowledge. That is my hope. And I hope that my story has inspired you in some way. And read the book, because there's more. There's way more in the book. There's a lot more in the book. And it's like, the book is structured in the way that it's 21 questions about channeling. And I answer those questions, and I also share a story, and it's kind of like as if each question is an Inspired Awakening episode, and I am answering it, and I'm sharing a little bit of like my own story and my own experiences, and I'm giving insight, because channeling is so much more than than how I do it. I do trance channeling. There's different types of channeling. Also linked here is like I did a video talking about the different types of channeling a while ago. And I mean, when you're a healer, you're a channeler. It's, yeah, it has meant so much to me, and I'm so grateful that I was given this gift by the Creator. So yeah, until then, sending you love, light, and inspiration. Stay inspired.